Okay, what the people who have tried to take over the world, okay, have done. Um, you can use the term Illuminati if you want. It's a silly term, right? In terms of Illuminati, all they're trying to do with that phrase, all that anyone would try and do with such a phrase, is to imply that they know something you don't. They are illuminated as to something. It's just a secret society and organisation, and it's probably not just one, it's a couple or a few. The point is, what these people have tried to do is to create a fluffy little little world, right? That people can pretend is real, because standing up against what these people have done is something that might make people afraid. So what they've tried to do is to institute some little cutesy wootsy fluffy little world that people who are afraid can kind of switch off and pretend exists and lose themselves in. You can see it all around you. People who are just sucked into this fake little fantasy world. It starts off with feminism and liberalism. Yes, let them play. Let them play. Let them have all their little toys, and we'll carry on with running the world. That's what they've done. Instead of actually being strong, instead of being correct, instead of being upfront. And that's why everything's sick around you. That's why you see men walking around unilaterally now. I say unilaterally. Very, very commonly strutting around carrying babies on their fronts while the woman walks beside. It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah, you might want to do that once in a while maybe, but it's now becoming so common. These idiot males, I don't know if I can call them men, have decided, well, I'll do it then. And they're so brainless. They don't see what's going on. I'm not saying don't do that kind of thing ever, but I'm saying that just look around you at the world the way it is. It's a complete disaster. So these things are being instituted to try to encourage people to live in this fake reality. Oh, we can make a world that's so perfect. No, you can't. That's not how life is. That's not how the world is. In order to allow it to happen, you would have to lose all your rights and all your freedoms entirely, which is what people suffered under communism. They had no rights at all. They couldn't say anything. But it was done at the point of a gun. Now it's being done in a cutesy wootsy way, but it's the whole thing's the same. It's the same agenda. Shut people up, dumb them down, dope them up, make them fat, useless, lazy, and weak, ruin their families, convince them that it's a great idea to be independent. Yeah, like you hear these stupid pop songs about women being independent all the time. Why? So that their families can be destroyed. So that these people who are running the show can feed off of people. It's disgusting. All you have to do is free yourself from that and recognize what's going on and choose not to live that way. And if you do, eventually these guys will get to the point where they're like, oh, okay, we've got a choice. We either go back to the original plan, which is to do it at the point of a gun, in which case at least everyone knows where they stand, or they back off and leave, move back into wherever they came from. Because that's the situation we've got at the moment. We've got men being unilaterally conditioned to be weak, and women being unilaterally conditioned to be obnoxious as possible, so as to undermine men in society. Women, they don't want to be that way, but unfortunately they are bombarded with the media, and women are more susceptible to that kind of thing. Women are more susceptible to social things. That's why social media is such a thing for them, and men can take it or leave it. But women are conditioned by this. Well, if you've got that going on at the same time as women are being conditioned to be obnoxious, you've got a perfect storm for nonsense. And that's what we're living in. But it can be fixed. It can be beaten. And it's going to have to be by individuals waking up, getting comfortable with actually being men, and actually figuring out amongst ourselves how we can fix this problem. And it starts with the individual. I'm doing the very best I can in that regard. Absolutely. And I always will. And we all have to do that kind of thing. I'm not suggesting people have to be perfect. Everyone's different. But at the same time, we have to have an idea of what's acceptable and what isn't. What we don't need is a society where people have no responsibilities and no power. Because in order to have power in society, you have to have responsibility. Well, if you're encouraged to give all those responsibilities away to the state, you have no power. And when the state is in the hands of a private group anyway, you have no power. You have no influence over the state. And you know as well as I do that whomever you vote for nowadays, you get the same result. Interestingly, in the United States, you've got Trump. Now, I don't know a heck of a lot about Trump. I don't follow politics. I'm just aware that he's been voted in, and I'm glad about that. I don't know how much he is controlled by other people. I would imagine he has to some extent, be in their um, pockets, but he's not doing what the mainstay of the agenda would have him do. And I think these guys are just biting their tongues until he gets out of office, and then they'll carry on with their nonsense. But in the meantime, what you've got with Trump is you've got someone who speaks his mind, and I respect him for that. I don't care if I don't like what he has to say, but he's speaking his own mind. The reason people are all freaking out about it is because what you've had for the last, I don't even know how long it's been going on, is puppets. You've got a polite puppet saying what he's, well, not talking the talk, so to speak, but saying what he's been instructed to say, and nothing more. That's why you vote someone in, they go blah 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 blah, and they never do anything, and you never get a result, and then people just get disenchanted with the whole thing. They get voter apathy. They stop bothering with the democratic situation because whomever they vote for, he's just a front man, and he will every single time he'll just let you down. So people stop bothering, and this is what's happened with our democratic institutions all over the place. They are falling apart because they're rotten. They've been corrupted. So people who have got guts, and this is the other thing, these people who are in charge, if they see someone who what they'll do is they'll put someone in place. If they see someone who has guts, they'll try and dirty them in some way, but then they'll try and put up fake people who appear to have guts, and then they'll try and they'll control them, like puppets again. So the guys who actually do have guts, they are slandered, and these people try and buy them off, or just batter them in the media until they just disappear. What you see time and time again is people will rise up in popularity, and these guys will hijack them, right? Push them into the limelight, and then smash them down. So people are like, oh yeah, I like this person, I'll follow them. Oh, they've been destroyed. So that's the problem with this media thing. Even me using YouTube, if I ever get popular, then what will happen is, you've got to put yourself in the position of people who want to control people. It's that simple. So if you have someone who's actually getting a lot of traction, spreading the truth, talking about what's going on, they have to say, okay, well, if we crush him, we've got a choice. We can crush him, or we can get behind him and push him as fast as possible so we're actually in control of him until he actually basically implodes or explodes. This is what they do. They try and do everything you'd possibly try and do to undermine someone. Either stopping them, which is tricky because if they stop them, it gives them credibility, or blowing them up out of all proportion and offering to buy them off, getting them sort of used to like high living or whatever, and make them afraid of losing it, make them into a star, and then they're in control of them. So you've got to be, at the end of the day, whatever it is, you've got to be willing to walk away from it. That's the nature of this whole thing. It is winnable. It is winnable. But honestly, it's a worthy endeavour to try to fix the problems that we have in this world. But don't get caught up in the softy nonsense, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to sit down. Don't worry. Don't bother with anything. Don't stand up and get upset about anything. Just sit there. It's okay. But it's not okay. It's not okay. You have to stand up, and hopefully we'll be able to fix these problems. In fact, definitely, but it's going to take some time.